Now, the great taste of the Midwest right here in Madison is helping expand the microbrewery industry. And politicians are debating gun safety in the wake of mass shootings in Dayton and El Paso. Plus, it's back to school season, and one local group is making sure every kid is prepared on day one.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. Thousands of people are enjoying their stay in downtown Madison tonight thanks to an annual festival. Adam Duxter shares how great taste of the Midwest is growing as Wisconsin becomes the beer capital of the United States.
Well, Amanda, for the 33rd year, the Great Taste of the Midwest was hosted here in Madison. Well, it's already grown larger, much larger than it was in the first year. The popularity of beer has it poised only to get bigger in years to come.
Here's that for you. Cheers.
Well, it took plenty of work.
We have 24 beers on tap that I've been working 2 days to get up and running.
Steve Vermouth says preparing for this year's Great Taste Festival was worth it.
Well, this is Madison, and Madison is where we started. It's our lifeblood. We're so much a part of what we do in this community.
We have a Wild Pitch Wit, which
This year's event mixing drinks, music, and other types of fun all in one.
It's such a social beverage that brings people together. You know, a lot of people meeting people today, making new friends, making acquaintances, sharing beer ideas, turning someone on to a brewery that you've never heard of.
And with 10,000 guests already packing Olin Park, it's hard to believe this event could still be getting bigger. But organizers say that might be the case.
Well, we're trying to introduce new breweries every year. You know, the craft beer industry is really growing still. And so we've added about 25 new breweries this year.
Jason Walters says the beer market in Wisconsin is still growing. And according to the Brewers Association, more than 1 million barrels of craft beer were produced last year. And the number of craft breweries in Wisconsin has tripled this decade. But the beer makers say that's good news.
The craft brewing boom in Wisconsin still continues to go, and a lot of people ask if we feel that, you know, it's too much competition, if there's too much, and we always take the approach that the rising tide raises all boats.
Today's event took over 650 volunteers to make happen and featured brewers from all across the Midwest. Organizers say having Olin Park to host the event in makes all the difference.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. Let's turn it over to Dave Caulfield with your first alert forecast. It was a nice day to be out there tasting some cold beers today, Dave.
Yeah, not bad with temperatures right around 80 degrees and also a fair amount of sunshine. We did see some clouds and some showers as well west of Madison, and some of those showers, or at least the next round, is moving through portions of south central Wisconsin. Closer to the Wisconsin Dells across Juneau and Adams County, some light showers showing up, but much of the activity is a little bit closer to Eau Claire and Black River Falls right now. There's a chance that we do see some of those showers and thunderstorms moving closer to southern Wisconsin overnight. Madison, the WIC TV Skycam looking at mostly cloudy skies right now. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s across southern Wisconsin. Dew points have come up a little bit into the 60s for most of us, so a little bit more humid as we head into the next couple of days. Your day planner, we are looking at the chance of some showers and thunderstorms overnight, but I think a lot of Sunday will be dry, mostly cloudy, with temperatures once again near 80. I don't think we'll be dry on Monday. In fact, some heavy rain is possible. We'll take a look at that possibility in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Dave. More local news now. Police are investigating after a man with a knife in his backpack threatened to kill a Madison Gas and Electric worker. Chief Mike Koval says MG&E workers at North Baldwin Street and East Johnson Street called after 2 o'clock this morning to report a drunken 26-year-old man. They said the man was bothering them and interfered with their work and then threatened to kill one of the workers. Police say they found the knife in the man's backpack while searching him and arrested him on suspicion of disorderly conduct and carrying a concealed knife. Staffers at a Madison detox center found child pornography in a man's car yesterday morning. Chief Mike Koval says staff at Tellurian Detox told police that just after 10 o'clock, a 55-year-old man came to the facility claiming someone had dropped him off. That's when the staff noticed the man's car was in the parking lot. Inside that car, they found child pornography and alcohol. Officials say officers arrived and arrested the suspect on a probation hold for possessing the pornography. A silver alert has been issued for a 73-year-old Oshkosh woman. Nancy Hansen was last seen at her home in Oshkosh right before 8 o'clock tonight. Officials say she is in a 1993 silver Buick with a lot of clothing in the back seat. A news release says Hansen has recently been talking about visiting Missouri and Tacoma, Washington. Anyone with information about her location is asked to call the Oshkosh Police Department. A bullet went through a Madison home early this morning, and police are still looking for the shooter. Several residents called MPD just after 4 a.m. to report hearing shots fired around Northport Drive and Morrow Court. Officials say they made contact with a 19-year-old woman in the 500 block of Northport Drive. The woman says a bullet entered her home and was lodged in a bathroom closet. Police also found bullet casings in the area outside her home. Earlier this week, a woman was grazed by a bullet while sitting in her apartment that was also on Madison's north side. A judge has rejected Stephen Avery's request for a new trial. Avery's 2005 killing of photographer Teresa Halbach was featured in the Netflix series Making a Murderer. Halbach's remains were found in the Avery family's salvage yard. Avery argued the state turned over the bones to Halbach's family without notifying the defense, but the judge ruled that does not mean Avery should get a new trial. The bones were given to Halbach's family in 2011, but Avery's attorneys were not notified until last year. Avery's attorney tweeted an appeal is likely. The first day of school is right around the corner, and the 100 Black Men of Madison are giving families in need all of the essentials for the start of a successful school year. The organization provided over 1,500 backpacks filled with various school supplies. Families were able to grab books and other goodies as well to stuff inside. Across the U.S., parents spent hundreds of dollars on supplies last year, according to communities in schools. And 60% of parents say it's hard to afford these supplies, according to a study in Junior Achievement. The 100 Black Men of Madison want to help those parents.
A lot of these parents could probably not provide these brand new resources for their child. And so they're looking at this as a boost up, as a helping hand, as something that will help them at least tread water and move forward.
Parents at the event say they appreciate the help. 100 Black Men of Madison also provided free health screenings and haircuts, as well as registration for reduced lunch. Disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein died today in an apparent suicide in his jail cell in New York City. Epstein was found unresponsive this morning at the Metropolitan Correctional Center and pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Epstein's death comes as the wealthy and well-connected financier awaited trial on charges including federal sex trafficking and sexually abusing dozens of underage girls. The 66-year-old, who led a life of luxury with mansions and a jet plane, was denied bail last month after pleading not guilty in federal court. At the time, one of his accusers urged others to come forward.
It's no surprise that Jeffrey Epstein was also sexually abusing girls in New York. He did it everywhere. And as long as the victims speak up, he isn't going to get away this time.
Epstein's reported failed suicide attempt in the same facility last month is raising a lot of questions about how this happened and the jail's suicide watch policy. In a statement, U.S. Attorney General William Barr said he was appalled by the news and that the Inspector General will investigate in addition to the FBI. One of his accusers said in a statement, quote, "We will have to live with the scars of his actions for the rest of our lives." A parade of presidential candidates are greeting voters and eating pork chops at the Iowa State Fair. 9 candidates are speaking on their political soapbox today, where they get about 20 minutes to make a pitch to voters in a state where primaries are only 6 months away.
We must turn the page. And this election is about more than that, because obviously dude got to go.
I think it is pretty important, Iowa, to have a candidate from the Midwest, from the heartland right now.
What happens in 2020 is going to determine the direction of our country, not just for 4 years or for 8 years, but for generations to come.
After my cheese curds.
More candidates will take the stage tomorrow, including Senators Bernie Sanders and Michael Bennet, as well as billionaire Tom Steyer, New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, and Republican challenger Bill Weld. The Iowa State Fair runs until next Sunday in Des Moines. Democratic presidential hopefuls campaigning in Iowa attended a gun safety forum, which was quickly organized following mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. Natalie Brand is in Iowa with more.
Presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke marched in a unity rally in El Paso, calling for gun reform just 1 week after a mass shooting in his hometown left 22 people dead.
Enough is enough!
More than 1,100 miles away, more than a dozen other presidential hopefuls called for changes to the nation's gun policies in the wake of last weekend's shootings in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio.
The Second Amendment says that we can limit who can own a weapon. They can limit what kind of gun you can own.
Democratic candidates are largely united on the need for universal background checks and an assault weapons ban.
AKs, ARs, they have no business in our neighborhoods in peacetime in the United States of America. They are for war zones.
Andrew Yang broke down in tears thinking about his two sons while listening to a woman describe her own daughter being shot and killed.
I was imagining it was one of them that got shot and the other saw it.
A recent CBS News Battleground Tracker poll finds more than half of Iowa Democrats say they must hear a candidate's position on gun control policy before deciding who they will support.
Background checks, no mental illness. I mean, come on. That's not a big ask at all. And I completely support that.
I'd like to keep my shotgun. On the other hand, the AK-47s and the AR-15s, I don't think it's a place for them in America.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says lawmakers will consider new gun control laws when Congress reconvenes in September. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Des Moines.
President Trump says he wants Congress to pass background checks. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, celebrating our diverse community by inviting minorities to get to know each other while staying healthy. Welcome back. Freedom Inc. is hosting its 15th annual Health Day. Around 300 people attended the event, which is Black, Hmong, low-income, queer, and trans-friendly, and provides a place where people can get together and get to know each other. The event featured a talent show, 5K, run and walk, basketball, and volleyball tournaments.
Historically, Black people, Hmong people, Khmer people have had to fight for space and to take up space. And Freedom Health Day is a lot about this is who we are, this is how we are in the community, and we want to share that with each other and with all of Madison as well.
Organizers say the event is driven by community engagement work that they do that's led by survivors of violence. Their mission is to end violence in our communities. A first-of-its-kind effort between the Mount Horeb School District and Madison College is looking to inspire the next generation of EMTs.
Yeah, we are 17, but we are doing things that adults do professionally, and it gives us a chance to experience the workforce at such a young age.
The Mount Horeb Fire Department held a fundraiser tonight for 9 local teens who will be taking the EMT basic course this school year. 2 of Mount Horeb Fire Officer Eric Brinkman's kids will be in the program this year, which he says will give teenagers an opportunity to gain some real-world experience. He says the biggest problem for EMTs today is the lack of interest younger kids have and that older volunteers are starting to age out.
We want all 9 to be able to take this and succeed and be able to have the opportunity to get back to their community, learn the skills that they can take anywhere. Whether they decide to go into a fire and EMS field or not, they can take these skills everywhere they go and will have the ability to help somebody and save lives.
The program has currently raised about $5,000 of its $9,000 goal for the upcoming school year. Hundreds of children competed at the Oregon Kids Triathlon this morning. The event started back in 2006 as a way to get kids outside and active during the summer. Race director Don Ferris says it's a fun way to spend a Saturday and help kids find a love for multiple sports.
It's pretty exciting to see, especially those little ones, how proud they feel of accomplishing this, and they cross that finish line and they're able to say, I'm a triathlete. So it's pretty cool to see those little ones kind of find a passion for this and continue doing this in the future and staying active.
Of course, the kids ages 5 to 14 weren't going to do a full triathlon, so the course was kid-sized. The young athletes started with a pool swim, moved on to an in-village bike course, and then finished with an on-trail run course with race length dependent on age group. Well, Dave, it seemed like a pretty good day to do a little dip, a little swim before you run.
Yeah,
you might have needed it.
A little sunshine, temperatures right around 80 degrees, so a pretty normal day. Some showers, Amanda, did form to the west of Madison as expected this afternoon, but most of us did stay dry. That is changing for some as another batch of showers and storms, mainly affecting spots across northwestern Wisconsin, closer to Eau Claire. But I expect that this activity will kind of sag a little bit to the south during the overnight hours, bringing at least some showers to southern Wisconsin, maybe a rogue thunderstorm or 2. Not expecting major impacts, though, with this round of rain. However, as we head into the next couple of hours, that umbrella might be needed if you are out late, maybe walking the dog. As we head into tomorrow morning, though, I think we will start to see those rain chances decrease. And then for much of Sunday, I expect a dry day, mostly cloudy with a little bit of sunshine. So the weather looking not too bad for the last day of the Wisconsin State Fair tomorrow in Milwaukee. However, Monday is a different story. An axis of heavy rain could be setting up directly across southern Wisconsin, so that umbrella, I think we're definitely going to need it on Monday, especially by the afternoon and evening. Madison, the Edgewater Skycam, looking at mostly cloudy skies right now. Today in Madison, for our high temperature, right at the bullseye, right where we should be for this time of year. 80 degrees and 58 for the low, pretty close to our typical nighttime early morning temperature of 60 degrees. Right now, those temperatures are in the mid-70s in Madison, 60s closer to Mineral Point and Platteville, and in Boscobel, 67 in Lone Rock. Those dew points starting to come up a little bit into the mid to, actually, we'll just call it mid-60s across southern Wisconsin. So that air feeling a little bit more humid tonight compared to the nights past. We do have an alert day now in the forecast for Monday. Showers and storms will be developing along a warm front on Monday afternoon, and 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible, and some locally heavier amounts also possible. So here's our excessive rainfall outlook. The Weather Prediction Center puts this out, and we are under a slight risk. That's about 10 to 20% of flash flooding occurring within 25 miles of a point. So that's what we're looking at here. Basically, it's an indication that some heavy rain could be on the way on Monday, and really that front looks to set up directly across southern Wisconsin. Now, exactly who will get the heaviest rain, that's still a little bit up for debate, but indications are really kind of all coming together that it will be somewhere across southern Wisconsin. So showers and storms overnight, nothing too major. We are keeping an eye on that, though, and we're definitely keeping an eye on Monday afternoon into the evening hours. You see those bright colors. That is heavy rain, at least possible, on our European forecast model. As far as the GFS goes, it's showing a pretty similar story. In fact, about 1 to 2, possibly even closer to 3 inches of rain for some of us as we head into early on Tuesday. And some of our models are painting even higher rainfall amounts than that. We're not going to jump the gun on those just yet, but we want you to be aware that Monday could be quite soggy and there could be some localized street flooding in spots. Hopefully we miss a lot of that heavy rain, but the possibilities are there. Nicer weather does visit us on Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid to upper 70s, plenty of sunshine. And summer not quite done yet with temperatures in the mid 80s, feeling like the 90s at times by next weekend with showers and thunderstorms returning.
After dealing with that Monday, we get a nice Wednesday and Thursday.
Exactly.
So, there we
Your
go.
off days, right?
Yeah. I planned it again.
Coincidence?
Thank you, Dave. There's no stopping Keston Hira. Highlights from Miller Park next in sports.
So Adrian Hauser has got to start eating before games or something. I won't show this video to you, but in tonight's game against the Rangers, he threw up behind the pitcher's mound after committing an error. And this isn't the first time he's vomited during a game. He did it last June and said it was a combination of long travel days and eating too little. So just grab a burger, man, eat more. Anyways, he was fine after that. Third inning here, Brewers up 1-0. Keston Hiura, home run number 14 of his rookie campaign. Solo shot to left center, 2-0 Brewers. Later in the fourth, Mike Moustakas lines one down right field. Newbie Trent Grisham scores 3-0 Brew Crew, and they hang on to win 3-2 the final score. They'll go for the series sweep tomorrow at 1:10, and the Cubs lost tonight, so that gap now smaller. The Brewers are now a game and a half behind the Cubs in the NL Central. Well, the goals of preseason football vary from team to team, but across the board, everyone wants to stay healthy and avoid any injuries before the real deal starts. The Packers, though, losing linebacker Oren Burks today in practice. He reportedly tore a pectoral muscle. And according to ESPN, he'll have more tests done to find out how bad it actually is. But he is expected to miss a significant chunk of time to start the season. Burks was drafted in the 3rd round last year, and he is a starter. Meanwhile, Aaron Jones back at practice after missing more than a week thanks to a hamstring injury. And for a guy that missed 4 games because of a knee injury last year, he's thrilled to be back on the field.
I mean, I wanted to be out there every day, but I mean, it's a long season, so I mean, I appreciate it. Appreciate the rest. And as a running back, you take a lot of pounding, so I mean, I'm not against those.
Well, we only have 3 more Saturdays without college football. The Badgers are exempt from that, though, because they've got a Friday night kick on August 30th in Tampa. We've seen a lot of Jonathan Taylor and Garrett Groshek happening in the backfield throughout the first few camps. Both guys with plenty of experience with 2 seasons under their belts, and Groshek with that bonus redshirt freshman year. So expect to see a lot of them this year.
How can you play with what you think are your best players? And a lot of times, your best is also experienced. So I think it's probably a little bit of that where you're just trying to, how can we get our best players on the field? And, you know, we obviously think highly of those 2. And so you're trying to find all the different combinations.
Finally tonight, Forward Madison hosting the Richmond Kickers at Breese Stevens Field. Only 1 goal scored in this game by the other team. 69th minute, Daniel Jackson getting the deflection there for the score. 1-0 Kickers, and with the loss, Forward Madison has now dropped out of the USL League One playoff position in 6th place. But the good news is they'll get a chance to get some vengeance in 2 weeks because these 2 teams will play each other again on the road, though.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Local law enforcement and first responders are taking the field to raise money for an area family. The Middleton Fire Department and Police Department competed in a softball game for the 8th annual Battle of the Badges charity fundraiser. The money raised will go to Sean McGrath, who's a 4-year-old boy from Middleton who was diagnosed with neuroblastoma in January. He's currently undergoing aggressive treatment at American Family Children's Hospital in Madison. Police Chief Chuck Folk says it's great to see the community come together for the McGrath family.
We're just really pleased to see this turnout. It's really fantastic that many people care about this. They obviously didn't come to see a softball game. They came to honor this family and just to be a part of our community, and that really makes us feel good.
Besides the softball game, there was a charity 5K, fun run and walk to help the McGrath family pay for medical expenses as well. Nice day to be out there and, support this family.
Yeah, the rain stayed away. That's not the case for some of us right now, though. We do have a round of showers and storms rolling through southern Wisconsin. We'll call it south central Wisconsin because those showers are a little bit farther to the northwest. Some showers overnight and then heavy rain possible on Monday.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.